Now let's look at the next paragraph. This paragraph says, what happens in a courtroom? First, a person tells his or her side of the story. Then, the jury decides if the person broke the law. Next, the jury decides what happens to the person. Let's see what the key details are in this paragraph. So the question asks, what happens in a courtroom? Let's see which sentences answer that. First, a person tells his or her side of the story. Okay, that's an important detail. The person who's in trouble, or might be in trouble, tells his or her side of the story. Then, the jury decides if the person broke the law. So that group of people that was sitting over there that got to listen to all the information, they decide. The jury decides if the person broke the law. And finally, the judge decides what happens. So that's all of the sentences in this paragraph have some key details. So the judge over here is going to decide if the person goes to jail, or if the person goes free, or if the person pays a fine. There are lots of different things that can happen if you broke a law. All right, now let's look at our last page. We have another subtitle. This subtitle says conclusion. Conclusion means it's going to tell us the most important things it wants us to remember from the whole story. So it says there are federal, state, and local governments. We read that in the introduction too. They all pass laws. The laws help keep people safe. The laws help keep order. Police officers help keep order too. So if I look for my main details in that section, we know there are three kinds of governments: federal, state, and local governments for the whole country, for the state, and for our cities. We know that they pass laws. We know that those keep people safe. And they keep order. Remember, we learned about keeping order so that we're not all driving crazy. We know where we can park and when we can honk and how fast we can go. And we also learned that police officers keep order too. All right. Sometimes a law gets broken. The judge may have to decide what happens to someone who breaks a law. Okay, so that was the summary of this last section that we just read, right? That's coming from a different part of the story. All right, so sometimes a law gets broken. So when a law gets broken, the judge has to decide. Judge decides what happens to the person who breaks a law. All right, so now we have found all the key details and we've learned all about our government's laws. I hope you enjoyed the story.